Hey everyone, hope you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel's Finding Value. Today we're going to go through uranium, see how it's performing against other commodities, see how the valuation changes are going. We're using ratios, asset versus an asset, and we're comparing it to history. So basically, what we do is we look at how this performs over time and how it's performing against other assets. An asset that outperforms other assets means you can buy the other asset, more of it. It's increasing your purchasing power. Right now, I mean, obviously uranium's doing quite well. We'll look at the ETFs as well, Uranium versus a lot of the other ETFs, and show you how that's also starting to outperform quite well against other assets. So this will be a uranium video, basically, just seeing how the assets are performing against each other. So the first one is uranium versus silver. And what we want to see is we're looking at history. We can see the relative valuation changes and what the potential tops could be. Think of it as like psychological thresholds of valuation, relative valuation. Generally, you get a downward move, you get a basing pattern. And after the basing pattern, I've had this on here since like February of 2023. I'm like, this is ready to rock and roll to the upside. And here we are, rolling to the upside. And we still have a long valuation runway ahead of us for this ratio to continue higher. And we can move through the different ones. This is uranium versus the S&P 500. You can see the momentum. And then now we are moving to the upside. We squeezed up. So we broke out of this resistance line, squeezed up, and are breaking to the upside. Will this momentum continue? Is it going to be a straight move higher? That I don't know. But right now, we've got a long valuation runway ahead of us. If I were to put, if this were to go back to all-time highs, just to give an example, all-time highs would be another outperformance of uranium against the S&P 500 of 4.5x. So if the S&P goes up, this is going to outperform it by 4.5 times until it gets all the way to the top. So we've got a long valuation runway ahead of us. Uranium versus gold, it is ripping to the upside. Uranium looks pretty much strong against everything. Uranium versus crude oil, look at that breakout, guys. Oh my goodness. Look at that. Outperformance. We have a long hit our head on resistance, hit our head on resistance, broke out, false breakout, and now we're ripping again. Can this continue? Well, we're already at pretty high valuations compared to history. In 2007, we got to 2.2. So we might see crude oil start to run here alongside uranium at some point. Uranium versus copper. Look at the outperformance here, guys. This is massive domination by uranium. Uranium, if you're a uranium investor invested in the physical commodity itself, you are outperforming all the other commodities and are able to buy more and more of the other commodities. Um, Uranium versus nat gas, we are at some ridiculously high prices here, or high ratio, I should say. So this is an anomaly. I like natural gas here. UX versus Dow Jones. Look at that thing go, guys. Absolute domination. Ripping it against the Dow. Oops, I just want to remove this here. Uranium versus platinum. Absolute domination. It is outperforming absolutely everything, which means you can buy more ounces of platinum as we've gone up dramatically. And uranium versus the M2 money supply continuing to rip. Last time it got to a level that is 4x higher, 4 times higher is where we have to go against the M2 money supply. That's a long way to go higher, 4x. So if we're at 100, 4x would be $400. M2 adjusted uranium price, $400. So some people will say, was that your prediction? No, that's not my prediction. That's just what history has bared out in history. $400 uranium there. So coming on down, let's look at URNM versus other assets. So URNM versus XLE, you can see a complete domination here. It's outperforming the oil and gas sector. And if you go to the daily, I mean, look at that move. It is ripping. It is ripping. URNM versus XOP, ripping it to the upside. Now, keep in mind, guys, we're getting to valuations that are historically, at least in 2020, kind of an outperformance pullback. Now we're ripping to the upside again. But can this ratio go to some extreme level? I don't know. I mean, maybe XOP will start to come alive again. We'll see. URNM versus the CRB index, absolute domination. You can see it with the squeeze up here, and then the bullish engulfing candlestick, and then the outperformance. We've got URNM versus OIH, which is the Energy Service Group, complete domination here. We've got URNM versus REMX, just ripping. This is a huge squeeze all the way up to the dead period, and then the rip higher in URNM. URNM versus COPX, domination ever since about 2023 here. We've been ripping. And URNM versus SPX, another outperformance. That's a bullish engulfing too. That's a big bullish engulfing, signaling more upside. So that is the uranium sector there and what I'm seeing in the uranium sector at this moment. So that's what I've got. I'm going to end it short. It's going to be a short one, but maybe I'll post another video later of other sectors. But uranium right now is outperforming everything. I know some people have said, why even look at other sectors? We can also do a couple more ratio charts here real quick. URA divided by the uranium price. We are at ridiculously low valuations for URA. There it is. It looks like we're getting a little bit of a bullish candlestick. These past few candlesticks here of outperformance of URA versus UX1. So maybe we're trying to put in a bottom right here for URA and an outperformance. We can also do URNM divided by UX1, see what that looks like. And to me, this looks fantastic for an outperformance. We can move it like this. It's just squeezing up here, and we can see a big outperformance of URNM. Actually, this is ridiculous, guys, because we are pulling back to this support level here, which is like perfect time to be looking. God, it makes this is just ridiculous. And then we've got URA divided by URNM. We can see URA continuing to head lower, which means URNM is outperforming URA. We could even say that this was kind of a flag pattern here. It came in, consolidated, broke out, retest, and breaking back down again. We can also use, like a few companies as well. If we want to chart like CCJ divided by UX1, some other ratios, you can see, it's not totally overvalued compared to history. Let's say that this is the overvalued camp, and then the undervalued camp. The last time it was undervalued was back in March of 2020, October, November 2020. This would have been a great entry point. Big move up, and we've been outperforming the entire time for CCJ versus the underlying commodity. That's where I'm going to end it, guys. Give me a thumb up for the content. Subscribe to the channel. Um, subscribe to the website if you'd like. We do cover a lot of stuff at the website. We dive deeper into individual companies, the ratios that I showed you just here, like we showed in Camco. I do that with other companies, and some of them are lining up really nice right now in terms of ratios. And I'm going to share that with the members here too on the website. I'll probably post another update, maybe Monday late, on potential uranium investment picks that I think are still good based off of ratios like this Camco to uranium ratio. There's some that look very good that I'd like to share with the members on there. So if you're a member, check out the website. I'm going to post that here shortly on Monday to get you guys the most recent information of what I think might be some of the best entry points for some of the uranium companies that are lagging behind. Might be some juniors, stuff like that. So I'll share that with a lot of people on the website there because I know they were looking for it. So that's what I've got. Catch you later. This is Finding Value.